Hey everybody and welcome. It is the SaaS Founder Show. We're back for another episode. I'm Tony Zayas. My co-host here is Insivia's very own founder, Andy Halko.
Hey Tony.
Hey Andy.
How are you doing today?
But today is actually episode number 60. So we're piling them up. This year I think we've had some amazing conversations. So super interested. We have a couple people tuning in. Always enjoy these international interviews that we have. Two people in two different places in the world today. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about who we have on. But we have Francis Martens and Hilde Van Brempt from Exalate. And Exalate is the most powerful integration app that provides limitless flexibility and ultimate control, built to create a seamless collaboration between teams across Jira instances, ServiceNow, Salesforce, Azure DevOps, Zendesk, Github, and other trackers. Exalate's mission is to build a network of connected companies and teams experiencing seamless collaboration regardless of the tracking technology being used. So some pretty cool stuff here. With that, I will bring them on. Hey, Francis and Hilda, how are you both doing today?
Fine. Hello, Andy. Hello, Tony. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you and welcome.
And good to be on your show today.
Yeah, pleasure having you both. So I guess to start the conversation, we would love, I read the descriptor, but would love to hear a little bit more about Exalate and really what's the origin story? Where did the concept start from?
So I will start then. We started, or I started long time ago, a professional services company, Halko, focused on the Atlassian stack, everything which is Atlassian. And while we were doing our professional services, we did find a use case which came back over and over again. And you know how it goes. So you do see an opportunity, you start to build product, and so there, based on customer demand, we built the first integration between two Jiras. Jira is an issue tracking system. I'm sure that our audience, most of our audience, will know about it. So we built the first integration for one of our customers, and they came back and they said, well, this was really solving a business problem. And so, well, if you have something that solves a business problem, you know what the next step is, right? And so it started there.
Very cool. I always like to look at it from a perspective, if you could talk through what's the day in the life of one of your customers look like? What from their perspective, what do they do and how do they utilize your tool? Because that, I think, always helps people really, comprehend it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good question. So before they deploy Exalate, so any company is working with other companies to accomplish services, to create products, to do stuff, right? And as we went into the pandemic, more and more companies are using issue trackers or task management system to get organized internally, and that's really helpful. So the people or companies are seeing quite a bit of additional efficiency by using a task management system to ensure that the things that need to happen. But what happens also is if they have to work with another company to implement their services or products, they get stuck. Because so the other company is also using a task management system, and whenever they have to coordinate the project over the company borders, they have to revert to email or to telephone or whatever exchange of information, and things get lost, right? So, and that's really the business friction that Exalate helps to solve. So what Exalate will do is it will allow you to connect the two issue trackers, Jira with the ServiceNow or Salesforce with the Zendesk, and then start to exhalate issues from one environment to the other. Exhalate is a bit of a wordplay on escalate. So whenever you have a problem, you will escalate it to some other organization. And that's where the word Exalate is coming from. So this company who normally would then use an email to exchange information just keeps on working on their environment, on their Jira. They escalate an issue to the other side, and the other side will then handle the task as if it was generated on their side. Yeah. So all companies remain on their own environment, but still can exchange information in a fluent manner.
I'd be curious, going back to origin story for both of you, what were you doing prior to this, and what kind of brought you to this journey?
Well, as I said, it was a customer. It started with a customer demand, and recognizing that there's a need for integration. But if you look at it, it's really logic. So you have all these companies who are doing a digital transformation, who are building their own internal digital tools to get organized, yeah, and more companies are doing so. And what's the next step? So the next step in the digital transformation is really connecting companies to each other. And in our wildest dreams, we are saying, why don't we build a worldwide network of connected companies, where every company can start to escalate issues to other companies as if it's a telephone network or like an email network. And so this vision of creating that worldwide network was the trigger to start that journey.
How about you, Hilde?
I'm fine. Yeah, I think one of your questions, if I understood it well, is what did we do before Hidalgo, and how did we come to this startup? Actually, me myself, I'm Hilde. I have like a career background. I have been studying IT, but I have kind of built my career around pre-sales, sales, marketing, and operations. So it's like I do understand IT people. I can talk to developers. I can kind of understand what they do, not like all the nitty details. But that's important. Like we are in a very technical environment. Our product is also rather on the technical side, although that it's used by a lot of end users. We talk with a lot of tech guys whenever we also want to sell our product. But I based my career in the sales and marketing. So like Francis, he will explain a little bit about his background, of course, but he's more like what we say, the tech guy. He's also the CTO, the CEO, and the CTO of the company. But I think we are a perfect match here in combining the technical part and like the operation and sales and marketing part together.
And how did the two of you come together to, launch this venture together? Did you know each other prior?
Yes, we did. Already for quite some years, because also in our private life, we are partners in crime, as we can say it. To be honest, we always had our different paths. Career-wise, also we worked with different companies and so on. But when Francis started Hidalgo, and when this idea came up for Exalate, and when we started to build a vision around it, I was like, I have been working in a lot of very large companies and multinationals and so on. And one of the things I really wanted to do was to get involved in a startup entrepreneurial type of organization. So I thought, this might be my chance to work together, not only privately, but also professionally together at some joint vision there.
That's great.
Yeah.
I guess I would like to go back a little bit and hear about what did that, MVP look like when you first launched? You had the concept, you recognized there was, a demand in the marketplace. What did that initial iteration of the product look like?
So the initial one was matching the requirements of that first customer. It's really helpful to have like a external party saying we really need this, because it uncovers the basic functionalities of your product. And so the next customer, the second customer, came up with new functionalities and so on. So the development is both vision-led but also customer-led, and a lot of that. By the way, these two customers are still using product on a daily basis, so the team did a good job there. Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing with, I talk to a lot of companies that are software development companies, and they build something for a client, and they think, oh, this could be a product. Was it right in your head, like, oh, we can take this and turn it into something much bigger? Or was it later after, you got someone else that was interested? What was kind of the thinking in your mind as, you took it from a custom solution to a product?
Yeah, so when we were discussing the feature set to be delivered to this first customer, we were like brainstorming and look, and you know how it goes, like you have a good beer or a glass of wine, and you discuss what can we do with this idea, and there that vision of that worldwide network popped up. And say, hey, why couldn't we do this? And so it's the original idea has been incepted by this first customer, but the vision and everything else, it's really the result of teamwork.
Yeah, and also to complete that, actually, we entered an incubator program. It's a startup program here in Belgium with a lot of starters. So it was actually treated like really a starting thing, because indeed it was already developed for a customer, but we had this vision around it, and we had to probably change the architecture again and rebuild the product to have a commercial version and a market ready version together. And we actually got a lot of help in the incubator program as well, because we were surrounded with other starters, we were surrounded with specialists, and they really helped us create and form the vision. We built a business plan. We started to learn to pitch the product as well, because having both a technical background, one of our most challenging things was to create it into a story that we could also tell people who did not have the background or the technical background. Like we could tell on the receptions. We had to exercise a lot on receptions, even talk at the family table, just to when my mom says, okay, tell me now, what are you doing? It's like we have to create really a story behind it, and that really helped us, because then we had this idea, and by the end of the incubator program, we could actually say that we had our first MVP. So that was a really good help also. And still now, today, we have a lot of contacts out of that incubator program that we can also hook up with. Also, we try to bring back some of the knowledge that we built, and we bring it back into the network, so that by coaching and by helping other people building their own business there. And that's really a nice thing. I loved it very much.
Do you mind talking a little bit more about that story development process? Because I think a lot of the founders that we speak to, that is one of the biggest challenges that they have. They're technical and they don't know how to tell the story. So can you tell us more about like how you went through that process and what it took to accomplish?
I think it came a little organically, like in that network where we had to meet. I mean, we had to meet a lot of people. It's like we never met so many people in such a short time frame that you normally meet at maybe receptions and so on. And every time it was like, okay, I'm Hilde, I work for Exalate, and then they ask, and what is Exalate doing? And I started off this difficult story about my integration, and you have this and that, and then after 2 minutes, you see the eyes of those people going like, okay. So in the end, we talked with a lot of people, people, and we said, okay, help us. And then we started building a story. And actually, the story went a little bit like this. Okay, you have a problem with your internet. What do? You call your internet provider, probably, and you get like a nice guy or a nice lady at the telephone. You explain your problem, and most probably the person will enter a ticket into their system and try to help you. If they can help you, fine. If they can't help you, they probably have to work with some other people, maybe some other companies that would help you. And normally, what happens there is that they pick up the phone again and they explain like the problem again, and information gets lost and information gets skewed and so on. So the information is entered in the other system, and the other person, they have another question. So there's like a complete communication chaos which is actually happening. And so you, as a customer, the next day you call back and you say, okay, what's happening with my internet problem? Is it solved? And okay, person cannot help you. So that is where Exalate comes in, and where you actually seamlessly connect all these systems together, and you make sure that that it works in a smooth way. That's a little bit how we ended up with it. And one of the first things that came out of it is that we also made kind of a comic. You remember, Francis, a comic? Comic strip that we made just to explain it. Also, we used it on I think social media and in one of our pitch presentations that we had to give. So that was it's one
it was totally not working, right? It was not working. So it's the only way to develop that story is an iteration. You just keep on trying until. So getting to the elevator pitch, like what is Exalate doing? It's building a bridge between two task management systems. That nails it, right? But getting to a one phrase explanation of your product, it takes ages.
I'd like to hear a little bit about if that story that you guys developed, that elevator pitch, if and how it has since, once you refined it, how has it influenced your marketing?
So you how do you mean in terms of content which is being
just generally speaking, typically that story is pretty foundational. If you can create a very concise explanation of what it is in story format, how has that played into your marketing efforts? Do you guys use that in there?
It's an interesting question in the sense what we see. So nobody is waiting for a worldwide network, of course, of connected companies who work in a structured manner. Nobody's waiting for that. What companies are looking for is an easy way to integrate, right? And matching this foundational story with the thing that customer needs. That's a really huge effort, and it's an ongoing discussion within the team how to handle it. Just to give you an example, last year we said, okay, let's focus on the cross-company integration story and let's create content which is related to it. And so we created the cross-company integration guide. We focused on SIAM, which is a kind of business-to-business integration approach, and created content on it, just to find out that although that this content is being read, it's not converting into customers. Yeah, and the reason is that it's an interesting topic to understand. But what customers are really looking for is this integration capability. So that's why I'm saying it's an interesting question, because you have this you want to tell about your story, but the customer is saying, oh, okay, no, but we have really this problem to be solved. So we translate this that we do see a roadmap in the type of messages that we have to bring to our markets, in the sense that in the current iteration, we focus on the peer-to-peer type of integration where we focus, connecting Jira with Salesforce, deep ticket integration and all these capabilities which match what the customer are looking for. And gradually we will start to build ecosystem networks where complete groups of companies are going to interlink and make sure that that we achieve our vision on the long term. Yeah, and making that translation of being really optimistic and telling the story to a more roadmap approach to introduce the story into our different audiences is something that we learned in the course of last year.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about the company and growth. So, how many folks do you have, and what was kind of the trajectory of expansion for the team?
Shall I tell?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we actually made like a how do you say an exponential growth over the last even 2 to 3 years. So when we started off with Exalate, we had this little team of 2 to 3 developers in Ukraine, and we had like one guy in marketing doing everything. Now we have an organization, when we talk about Exalate, of over close to 50 people, 60 people, I guess, we are already, with a major growth, and especially not like we have a complete engineering team, with everything like developers, front end, back end, release managers, QA, and we have a complete support, sales, and marketing organization. Even the last 2 years, we organized ourselves to support our customers, both from the sales and the support part in the different parts of the world. So we kind of spread our people worldwide. Also, of course, with the pandemic of the last 2 years, we kept on growing, which was very nice. But with everybody working remotely, we already had some experience there. But it opened up a lot of opportunities there to really go to the markets where our customers are.
I'd be curious if, you said you've had exponential growth. We're talking to founders, they're building their products. Are there any specific things that you think were major catalysts to drive the growth that you've had? Something that you did or executed, or something that changed in the marketplace?
No, I think we kind of we always planned our growth, and it came kind of organically, although that the pace was very fast. And of course that you are challenged as an organization if you do that kind of growth. You go from a team of 5 people, everybody knows everybody, but everybody knows also everything that's available in the systems and so on, and in like their heads. But then now we are with 50 people, so you need processes, you need better agreements, you need good onboardings, trainings, and so on. So it's quite challenging to actually transform your organization from really a startup to, we call it a scale up now, where kind of different laws are active.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But to answer your question, there was not like a very specific event that caused us to grow exponentially. We are driven completely by our customers. So our customer base is growing. Of course, Francis talked about the integration. So we started our product off with Atlassian, so it's Jira to Jira integration, and then we added new connectors. So every time, if we go to the ServiceNow market, to the Salesforce market, to the Zendesk market, and so on. So every time our market grows like quite a bit, because suddenly you have a complete new market that you need to approach, and of course you need to prepare, and you need more people to approach that market, to research that market, and so on.
Yeah. Well, I think that the feature of additional trackers, so support for additional trackers helped us to win the Atlassian market. So on the Atlassian market, there are like 3 main competitors, but since we introduced additional capabilities, we do see that the number of active installs is almost double of what our competition is having. It's I think that listening to your customers is the most important thing that you have to do.
What is the process that you guys have in place to collect that user feedback and then make sense of it and prioritize, what you want to take action on? How do you guys manage all that, customer feedback and input?
This is coming from in different channels. One of the most important channels is support. So integrations are never easy. So people start, okay, I have to do a summary to summary type of integration, but then people start to think, how can we use these capabilities? And then the company specific environment is getting into play. And support is an important channel. So we really focus on support. We have quite a large support team that are listening to what type of problems that our customers want to solve, and we use that to translate it into features in our products. Next to that, we do have other channels like the intercom, like the demos that our SDRs are doing. Just our documentation itself and the remarks. And lastly, the community, community.exalate.com, where we get a lot of questions about, would this be possible? How should I solve this? And that's all helping us to develop our roadmap. Yeah.
What's been some of the challenges of extreme growth? I think any founder that's looking at trying to grow business, what are some of the pitfalls that you guys ran into, or some of the things that were just big surprises as you started to scale?
It is what Hilde was mentioning is if you're with a team of 5 people, then it's easy to get everything done, right? So it's also easy to communicate. With 50 people is different. And the main thing is knowledge. How do you manage your knowledge? How do you ensure that everyone within the team has the right set of things to know? So one of the challenges that I do see is that people are doing stuff over and over again because they don't know that someone else has been doing this type of work before, like answering to a specific question our customers have, or structuring some information, and so on. And it's still a challenge. It's not easy to ensure that. Also because that everyone knows everything. Also because you grow, you get more people on the team. Everyone has questions. How should I handle this thing? And so how do you structure this information? How do you know that everyone knows what they should know? Yeah.
One of the challenges that I faced is it's probably on the recruitment side also, because if you want to find a lot of people in a very short time frame, okay, you try to work with recruiters and so on, so you try to find as many people. There's a war for talent going on still, especially when you're looking for ITers, but also sales, marketing people. If you want to go for the right level, it's difficult to find them. And one of the traps probably that we actually fell in and that we had to experience, like how do you say it? Yeah, we had to go through it. Is that we hired here and there the wrong people. And probably because there was always an urgency involved. Right? It's like, okay, we need that marketing or sales or technical profile like so badly, and we're looking for it, and it's difficult to find, and it takes a while, and in the end you go for, okay, let's go for this or this person, and then it's never a good idea. And we had experienced it, and we have to close now. Well, our recruitment channels had to become much better. I mean, we had to go for the quality. Well, quality, it's not quality of people, but they had to fit the team as well. There's many factors when you want to go for the right people in the team. It's a qualification, it's a personal thing, it's a team thing. So we actually slowed down our processes a little bit just to say that we will go for the best person for the job, and that's something that's it's still challenging, because people were like, I need them, and then yeah. A second thing that's something closely related to the recruitment is the onboarding process. We have because in the beginning, well, if you hire new people, the first 2 to 3 months are crucial for the individual, but also for the organization, just to see that there is a good fit. And they need to be coached and onboarded in a very good way. And that's also something that we found out that is very important. And especially when you're spread over different locations in different time zones, it's sometimes very challenging. Actually, it's one of the reasons that Francis is now in Costa Rica and I'm still in Belgium, is because we hired new people in Costa Rica. They're new, and we want to be sure that they are like 100% up and running in a short time frame. Because, a lot of our technical knowledge is still in the European time zone. But, after 8 o'clock here in the evening, there's nobody available. Well, nobody. Our Slack channels are quiet. And so if people in Costa Rica need some help, because they have a customer on the line that needs some technical support or whatever, I mean, they cannot wait till the next day for the technical people to wake up in Europe. So that's one of the things we are now building, and we try to now now it's again possible. We try to move people to different places with the reason for training and onboarding.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, those are two fantastic points. I think I see that all the time, having to settle because you're so in need of resources. And then onboarding, I can tell from my own experience of running a business, if you can't get it right, it really causes a ton of problems down the line.
I know.
So
In the
such
end,
great
if you
points.
lose the people, I mean, you're back to zero, and you lost a lot of time and investments and so on. So hiring and onboarding is crucial.
Continuing on that topic of onboarding and going from the early stage startup to where you guys consider now scale up, how have you developed processes so that to ease that, as you go through and bring people on, so everyone can have access to knowledge? What have you guys done as an organization to help make that a little easier?
Yes.
You're okay?
There was a bit of a network lag.
Okay.
You guys want me to repeat it?
So Tony, could you repeat your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, please.
As it relates to onboarding, what have you guys done from the perspective of defining process? As you're smaller, a lot of people have things in their head and could share a little bit easier. But as you grow and have more team members and more people that need access to information and resources, what have you guys done from a process standpoint to help team members get up to speed easier?
There are two. Well, it's work in progress. We are not there yet. But one of the most important things that we do is we appoint a buddy. It's a standard way that someone who is experienced with how we work, who is going to work on a daily basis with a new hire to get to what this person needs to know. And secondly, we are building a kind of a knowledge base now containing all the information that new hires should know. But it's not only new hires, but also like existing people who want to move from one job to another. They have an easy way to collect all the information. And also, we do have like 135 Exalate partners. Also, these people, well, the people from these partners need to go through a kind of onboarding process because they need to learn. And so the investment that we're doing on this knowledge base can be reused in many different use cases. So the having like a personal coach helping you to get up to speed and having a good knowledge base is what we see the way to solve this challenge.
Yeah, that's great.
I think along these lines, the other thing we always talk about is culture. And I've asked a lot of our founders on the show, how much are you trying to drive culture, defining core values and reminding people and doing different things for folks versus letting culture create itself?
It's
Hilde?
yeah, you say it very nicely. Culture creates itself. I think it's not something that you, of course we define our values, but the values come from the people themselves, and it's something that, of course, yourself as a person, the founder, you go after and you live by some values, and probably you hire also all the people that should live by those values and so on. But then still culture comes when the company forms itself a little bit. So one of the things that we see is very nice to see is that we are so international, but also with a lot of different cultures as well. So people coming from different nationalities. Even in Belgium here, we hire a lot of people in sales and marketing. We are like the sales and especially the marketing hub, which is over here. But because we can hire people that do not have to speak the local language, so they can speak English, we attract a lot of people with different backgrounds and nationalities and cultures, and that's also very nice. So culture in itself and multicultural is spread over the whole organization. We have like 20 plus nationalities. We speak like almost 30 languages if we all count it up. So that's also nice. So it's something, and now we have set it because we have like a PR and brand person now in place, and she kind of defined the values now together with the people into the organization. It's a little bit of a formal process now, but the values that come out of it are the values that we know that are already there. So it's not like something new has been invented, and it comes out of the organization itself. So you want to what's important for us as values is we have like, of course, we need to respect each other, and we need to create a trusted environment. So especially with people from different cultures, it's always difficult not difficult, but there's always challenges that go with it if you work together. So being respectful to each other, being creative, being open, that's very, very important there.
Yeah, no, actually, we making these values really explicit was kind of a huge effort, and Dafina has been working really, really hard together with the team. But lastly, we found 4 core values, which is that we are diversified, that we are in sync as a team, that we take action to do stuff, and that we enjoy the journey. And getting to these four phrases, which sound really simple, it took a lot of discussions with a lot of people in the team. It's an enriching process in the sense that you don't only talk about like we have this defect, it needs to be solved by tomorrow, or we have this customer. But you all work together on the company and the product, and you do feel like that you're working as a team, and that's really nice. You still there?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear it? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I
No.
can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like we have a little lag. Just to shift gears a little bit, what does the future look like for Exalate? What are the hopes and plans for the next year to 3 years?
First of all, we have this very ambitious goal of Exalate 10x, it's called. So you can guess why. So we want to go 10x with our product in the next coming 2 to 3 years. It will take. That's 10x. Of course, that's our main goal. We want to grow our customers and our revenue by 10x. Probably not a company like the organization itself, but the organization will grow along, of course, with because we need more development, we need more sales, we need more marketing, and so on. So that's our main goal. We also want to. Like Francis is telling, the vision of Exalate is really to build a cross company. So it's like companies working together, because integration can also happen inside a company, but it's a cross company network, and that's our main goal for and one of our focuses for the next 3 years, that we want to prove that vision as well.
How about from a product perspective, what do you see the future being, and what, especially, we talk to a lot of founders that are looking at AI and looking at blockchain. Is there anything, on these bleeding edge technologies that I know are a little bit just words, but I'm just kind of curious, where's the product going? What's the big vision there?
So of course, as you say, like a blockchain and AI are words, and indeed we consider that as means to implement the roadmap. We are not looking into blockchain at the moment. We are looking into AI to analyze all the data that we're collecting of the usage of products, but that's outside of the product itself. But in the product, we do have two main drivers. That's reach, is how many different trackers are we going to support, and depth is how deep can we do an integration. So and along these two vectors, we are defining our roadmap. Yeah, and if we could use AI, we probably will, but not the way around. We are not going to say, hey, here we do have an AI component in our product because it sounds fine. We don't have time for that. It's too difficult, right?
So you're not going to have the Exalate metaverse anytime soon.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, why not?
You never know.
That's good to think about.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, talking about blockchain, we'll not have blockchain in our product, but what we do have, and that's one of our big advantages or our key differentiators against our competitors, is that we have a distributed architecture, a little bit like what we have with blockchain and so on, and that's very important, because then you keep we don't have a centralized hub where we organize and configure and monitor and control everything. No, everything is distributed so that everybody has control over their own environment. And that's a little bit what we find in those more modern networks, is that it's completely distributed. So you spread the power over the network instead of keeping it in some kind of a big data center or one big hub somewhere.
That's great.
And that's already built into our product, and that's probably the visionary part, because in essence, integration is something that happens already since we have computers, since the beginning of times. But the way we built our product was already with that distributed architecture and with that cross-company in mind, and that's what we're gonna live for. I mean, we're not gonna change that path. We just need to valorize it in the market. So yeah.
So where can I have a final question that I'd like to ask both of you, but where could our viewers learn more, or how can they get in touch with you guys if they've got questions?
If they have questions, where they can find me?
Yeah. So if you just want to talk about your website or other channels to reach out to you, that'd be great.
Yeah. So actually, of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. That should be no problem to find me. Everybody who's interested to learn about our products, our sales guys are like and girls are almost everywhere. So if one of the things that really helps is like on our website, we have the chat component, and that works really well. If people just reach out to us, if they have any question, like whether they're looking for a job, whether they have a technical question, sales question, any question, they will always be directed. And we try to keep these communication channels as close as possible. Also, we as a founder, we want to be very approachable so that people can just reach out. And if they have any questions, if they want to know how we did this or that, in building or growing our company, just reach out.
That's great.
Yeah.
So a question I ask every one of our guests on our show is, and I'd like both of you to answer, is if you were able to go back in time right before you started the business and have coffee with yourself, what advice would you give?
Francis, you can start.
Yeah. What advice should I give myself while buy a lot of coffee? And so I think that we've been lucky with finding good people on the team. Everything is team related, and focus on the team. Make sure that the team is operational. We would have been starting with the knowledge base a lot earlier as a collaborative effort. So I would say so, but many of the things that we've been doing, I would do them again as they are.
Hilde, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, maybe it sounds a little bit contradictory, but maybe sometimes go a little bit faster still. We have been we grown because we haven't talked about like financial things and so on, but we've grown rather bootstrapped. We kind of because we also have a consultancy department, so we build our own means. We have a little bit of funding, but it might be, and it worked well. So we kind of grown organically, not slowly but prudently, and still it was quite a roller coaster. But still, I think I should have gone for more money and more investment still to have it even boosted more rapidly. A second thing I would actually also do is invest in senior management faster.
Yeah, that's always a good one, and one that I don't think that we've heard for sure, but it's important, right?
It's important because we have been investing in a lot of people, but you also need management, and you need to set your procedures, and you need to set your strategy and so on, and it's very important.
True.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. We just want to say thank you to both of you. So Hilde, Francis from Exalate, really appreciate you guys spending time here with us today and learning about the business and your journey. For those of you tuning in, thank you guys so much. We'll be back again next week. But again, thanks so much, Hilde, Francis. Take care. And
all right.
Thank you, Tony and Annie. Thank you for having us on the show. And Yeah, take
Success.
care.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye.